Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dayakaram Dayakaram Dantam Dharma Pravartakam Pranamami Dayanandam Madacharya Param. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodha Bhidiyate Sarva Vedānta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satgurum Pranatosmyaham. So we were seeing last time we had come to the topic of ISHVARA and the ADHISHTHANA devatas, or the presiding deities of certain things in nature. So the sthūlaśarīrābhimāni jīvanāmakaṃ jīvanāmakaṃ brahmapratibimbaṃ bhavati. This particular verse says this: sa eva jīvaḥ prakṛtyā svasmāt īśvaraṃ bhinnatvena jānāti avidyopadhiḥ san ātmā jīva ityucyate māyopādhiḥ san īśvara ityucyate. So now we're nearing the end of the text. What is the author doing? He is equating. First of all, we did Tvampada Vichara, which was the analysis of the you, of the individual. Then we had Tattvabodha Vichara, the analysis of that. And now we find at the end of this text, the equation, the two are brought together. And how are they brought together? That is what Vedanta discusses. This particular verse defines the jiva, the individual, and īśvara. What is the difference actually between both of them? What makes both different? It is something called upādhi. Upādhi is a very technical term in Vedanta scriptures. Upādhi consists of two words in Sanskrit, upa and dha. Upa means nearby, near to, and dha means to place nearby. So it is interesting, you know, Upanishad actually also comes from this root. Upanishad means you sit near. Upanishad, sit close by to a teacher and you get the teaching. Upanishad actually comes from that. That is one of the definitions of Upanishad. Upādhi also similar, nearby, placing something nearby. So upādhi means that which places its own attributes onto something nearby. It's different meanings according to context, but it changes the appearance of something. It places its qualities onto something. In Vedanta, we say it conditions something. It transfers its properties onto something else by staying close to it. Best example Adi Shankaracharya himself gives is a hibiscus flower, red hibiscus flower, placed near pure, clear crystal. Crystal by itself does not have any properties. It doesn't have any attributes. When you put the hibiscus close to the crystal, what happens? It looks as though red. The crystal appears to be red. This is exactly what the Vedānta Shastra discusses. Because the jiva is associated with the upadhi of mind, body, and senses, what happens? The mind, body, senses are upadhi. They become closely placed to ātmā, nearby. They are not consciousness, but their consciousness appears to be mind, body, senses, magic. Same with īśvara. Īśvara's upadhi is what? Maya Shakti. Because of this whole creation we see, this is all Maya Shakti at play. The Lord behind the creation, the magician who wields this magic, is not seen. He is hidden by this magic. That's why we say the veil. You know, sometimes you read in spiritual literature, the veil of Maya. The veil is as though veil, but what does it cover? When Ishvara, Bhagwan is so close to you, when Bhagwan is always available for you in everything and everyone you meet, what keeps you away from Bhagwan? It is that upadhi of Maya Shakti. She makes Bhagwan, hides Bhagwan from our eyes. So we get deluded with the world and the names and forms, and then we get affected by the world as well because of Maya. So the main topic now is brought up in the Upanishad, the main topic of Jiva, Aishwarya, Aikyam. Oneness, we have to understand, is not sameness. The difference is there. Oneness is not sameness because I cannot be Ishvara on this level. Who can be Ishvara on this level? Can my body be Bhagavan? No, it cannot. I am tiny self. I have limited powers. I cannot be all pervasive like Bhagavan. I cannot have all knowledge like Bhagavan. So oneness does not mean sameness. Then what creates the oneness? The oneness is when the costume of Ishvara is removed, when the costume of the individual is removed, then there is oneness. The best way to understand is our wave and ocean analogy. So Ishvara is like that big ocean. Jiva is like a small limited wave in that ocean. But when you remove the costume of the wave, the name and form of the wave is gone. When you remove the costume of the ocean, when you take away the ocean, the name given to that big body of water, you take it away, what remains? Only pure H2O, only water. This is what the Aikyam is based on. It is the intrinsic. There is oneness on the intrinsic level. There is not oneness on the individual level in the form of the upadhi. There can never be oneness. Only Ishvara has Maya under his control. He can play with this Maya Shakti the way he wishes. Ishvara is the wielder of Maya because he is, it's said, sattva shuddha. He is pure sattva, predominant. So he becomes this great Lord for us. Any name and form you take, he is the great Lord, and we can relate to him in many different ways. The individual can relate to the total. We can worship the total through puja. We can worship the total through prayer. We can worship the total through chanting. We can connect always to the total because he becomes relatable. It's important to relate to Bhagavan like that at the beginning. It is like the wave relating to the ocean. As long as you take yourself to the wave, as the wave, you are always relating with the ocean, right? I am part of this ocean. This ocean I'm surviving because of the ocean. The wave will say what? I am part of this huge ocean. I exist because of the ocean. I am because of this ocean. The ocean lends all its existence to me. I am nothing without the ocean. The wave will say that. But what is in reality? The reality is both cannot exist without water. Where is ocean without water? Where is wave without water? So that water is what we say is like Brahman. Both Ishvara's intrinsic nature is Brahman, consciousness. Jiva's intrinsic nature is also consciousness. From the standpoint of consciousness, there is no difference. There is only oneness. Sthūlaśarīrābhimāni jīvanāmakaṃ, which means the one who takes him or herself to be within the confines of this body. Why? Why do I do it? Why do I think I'm only this much? It is because of avidya. Avidya is the power of Maya to cover, conceal the reality of myself from myself. Avidya creates this Maya, and I'm not able to see things clearly. I take myself to be an individual, and I take myself to pervade this much alone. So this avidya makes me feel limited, actually. It makes me feel like all the suffering and all the smallness that I have in my life, the feeling of inadequacy, all of that is why? Because of avidya. Then what happens? When the avidya comes into the picture, then I become important. That individuality, the egoic I becomes important. And when I become important, mine comes into the picture. Mine becomes also important. This is my son. This is my daughter, my family. I and mine become more important than the total. So this is because of the identification error. We are all misidentified. We are wrongly identified. We are taken to be something we are not. We take ourselves to be something we are not. Brahmapratibimbaṃ bhavati. Brahmapratibimbaṃ bhavati. This now is a methodology to explain how this happens. We have seen this before, but it is also interesting to see it. Again, it is repeated, which means it is important to see it. Brahmapratibimbaṃ bhavati means what makes something conscious? What makes me come alive? This is the view of the individual. What makes me come alive? Pratibimba means reflection, actually, in Sanskrit. So I am not just the physical body. Let us understand what the jiva individual is. I am not only the physical body. In the view of the Shastra, we know I am the subtle body as well. I am the subtle body, the sukshma shariram, composed of all the elements we have seen in this text. And mainly, we have all the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions that define me are the subtle body, which is again with the physical body. And the third aspect of myself is the self, the sakshi, that makes the subtle body also come to life. Because the physical body and the subtle body have no sentiency by themselves. They are inert. They are called jadam in the Shastra. They are inert. Only the self is the one existence, the awareness that brings the subtle body and the physical to life. And the mind becomes conscious of everything because of this pratibimba, the reflection of the consciousness in the mind. So your thoughts actually are inert. We have discussed this before, but it is very, very interesting to see that thoughts have no power hold over you because they are inert. The inertness of thought especially is mentioned in this text that we have seen, Drikdrishya, brilliant text to understand how the thought has no power over you. There is a rule, yet drishyam tat jadam drishyatvat gatavat. There is a rule in the scriptures in Sanskrit. Yet drishyam, whatever is perceived by you is inert. It has no sentiency by itself, whatever is perceived. You may think, oh, I see that person moving. I see that person talking. I see that tree growing. I see all of these things and they look alive. Everything looks alive. But think a little bit further. Is the person that you see really what you perceive as living? Is that body you see alive really? It is not. In fact, this statement made in our scriptures is very true. Yat yat drishyam tat tat jadam, which means that whatever is seen is inert actually. Because what you're actually seeing is the physical body. Is the physical body alive by itself? It is not, because we see on death, what is the physical body? It is nothing. It goes back to the earth. It returns to the earth. So what you perceive as life when you look at this world is not the physicality of the world. There is something underlying the physical nature of this world. That, in fact, is what you see as coming alive. You don't see it. That's the problem. You mistake the person to be alive because you see the body walking, talking, moving. It is not that body that walks and talks and moves. It is the sentiency behind that body that makes the body come to life. And you recognize that only on death, because you say the departed one, the one who has left. When you say departed, what has departed? That, again, we have to question. We say all these things, yet we cry for a form that is lying there, which is not really alive. It has never been alive. It has never been living. That is the interesting thing. The physical body it's inert. It has always been inert. It will always be inert. It is born inert. There is only something in that physical body that brings it to life. And this is what our Shastra says is the reflected consciousness. This is called Pratibimbavada. A live body is conscious because it responds to the external world. That is what our definition of consciousness in our scriptures is that which responds to the external world is conscious. Can a dead body respond to external world? It cannot. It is jadam. So a body by nature is jadam. It cannot respond to the external world. So it is the sukshma sharira that brings everything to life. It is the sukshma sharira reflecting conscious that brings everything to life. A tree also has sukshma sharira. It has a subtle body. It reflects less consciousness than a human being. A plant has a subtle body as well. A dog has a subtle body. An elephant, animals also have subtle bodies, but they are not fully manifesting consciousness like a human being. That is why human birth is the most difficult of all births to get. Why? Because human birth, it is where you have the thinking capacity, you have the discerning capacity. It is a gift given by Bhagavan. That discerning capacity is a gift given. That discerning capacity makes you different from an animal. An animal does not have choice. An animal is programmed. You are not animal, you are not programmed. You have the will to choose. That will to choose means consciousness is fully manifest in your mind. That is Bhagavan's gift. So it is the physical body that enjoys consciousness because of the entry of the subtle body. We have seen this. And what happens? The jiva, what happens as an individual? As soon as the physical body comes alive because of the subtle body, then I am born. That I is born. Who is that I? The I is that individual with the parentage, with the DNA code, with the physical structure, with the karma, with a certain mind, with a way of thinking. All of this included in the I. You are born. And this knowledge is because of the reflected consciousness that manifests through your mind. So it is borrowed. We have to understand it is not the property of the physical body to have this consciousness. It is borrowed. If you remember, the best example I use is what? Pakoras frying. Pakoras being fried is the best thing to remember. The heat is borrowed by the pan. The pan heats up that oil. And the oil, you put the pakoras in the oil, they fry. This is called borrowed heat, right? That is borrowed heat. Pakoras fry because of borrowed heat. The pakoras cannot cook themselves. They don't fry themselves. This is the same way. The body cannot come alive. You cannot see, you cannot hear, you cannot smell. You don't have any access to any of the, the functions of the physical body, because consciousness blesses you. It is called a blessing. It is a blessing. Why do you function? Because consciousness, it's borrowed consciousness that borrows, the physical body borrows. First, the mind borrows consciousness, the thoughts borrow consciousness, then the senses borrow consciousness, then you come alive as a person. So it is consciousness alone that lights up your body and mind, and it makes you into an individual. Who is this individual? It is an I thought. It is ahankara, we call it the sense of doership. I do is the ahankara. Aham karta. Sense of doership, and it is the aham karta, I do, that claims all the other thought forms. All the other thoughts. I do what? I do this job. I do this work. I run this family. I am a mother. I am an employee. It claims all the roles that you see which are associated with that I as well. So the aham thought claims every other thought, and the karta claims the phalam, the fruit of knowledge from every other thought. Have you ever noticed what makes you act in life? We have not taken time to even think. A thought comes into our mind. Some thought comes into our mind. Oh, let me go out. It's nice and sunny today. So the eyes open, they recognize sunny day, very nice sunny day, nice weather. Then what does the thought come? The thought comes to go out. Let us go out today. Who claims the thought of going out? I want to go out today. It is the I that claims that wanting to go out. The thought comes, first of all, thoughts, our desires are based on our sense perception. You cannot have desire if you have not seen the object, or you have not had a taste for the object, right? Anything you have a desire for, you must have experienced, or you must have heard of the experience to desire for it. We only have desire over something we have found pleasure in before. So I have found a lot of pleasure in rasmalai. I've enjoyed that rasmalai. That rasmalai pleasure has been registered in my memory. And what happens? Suddenly I see that rasmalai in my mind. I link to that pleasure from past, and I have another desire to eat rasmalai again. See? So our desires are based on pleasures that we remember in the past. That is one form of desire. The other reason we act is because we have been subliminally programmed to think that certain things are going to give joy. Either through television, advertising does it very well. You see something on TV, you have not yet experienced it, but the TV advert makes it look fantastic. You see this holiday, holiday resort, beautiful sandy beaches, turquoise waters, everything is shown beautifully on TV. You've never been there. But what happens? I want to go. The desire comes. I have to go. Why? Why does the I link to that? Because the I wants to experience pleasure. It is the I that claims the thought of seeing the Hawaii beach there on TV, right? The I claims the thought. If you see, just objectively, if you watch the advert and don't let it enter you, then you're not affected by it. But because the I is there, the I thinks, what does the I think? So the I thinks, oh, if I go to that place, I will experience pleasure. I will become happy if I spend lots of money going to that place, enjoying the hotel, enjoying that comfort. I will be happy. So you look at this, all our thoughts in life, desires are based on past pleasure or dreams of future happiness. I'm living in these two worlds, actually. I'm not living in the real world. I'm living in these two. And I discover, what do I discover? If I past pleasure, I go after past pleasure, then I get the same item again and again and again. I experience that pleasure. What happens? Again, your life is your teacher. You can see for yourself. I keep re-experiencing the same pleasure or trying to go through it. One day or other, I get bored. I had enough of rasmalai, finished. I don't want to have any more rasmalai. I'm filled with rasmalai. I don't need any more. So you get bored with that past pleasure. Future, the projection of future pleasure. That I claims that desire. The I goes after the thought. Then what happens? The I experiences it and it goes there, but it is not what has been projected. The I goes to the island with nice sandy beaches. The I goes, takes the physical body, goes to that place, stays in a nice 5-star hotel, and what do you find? Oh, the tap is leaky. Maybe one tap doesn't work. That puts your holiday off. It's dripping all night. I cannot sleep at night. Oh, the sandy beach. They only showed a part of the sandy beach on TV. They didn't show the other side where all the trash is put. All these things can happen because in life, anything can unfold. So this is how we function. That I functions like this. Everything you do in life is because of that aham karta. I do. And that I does for what? Aham bhokta. Shastra says very clearly, the I does action for the experiencer of action, for the enjoyer of action. This makes you as an individual. Whole life you're doing this. This is what is called individuality. This is what the jiva is. The I thought uses the instrument of the physical body to interact with the external world. And how does this identification happen? Again, in Drik Drishya Viveka text, if you remember, the author says, ayas pindavat, like a heated iron ball, red hot iron ball. You put an iron ball in the furnace and you take it out. How does it look? It is red hot. It is in the form of fire. It is in the form of heat. And when you take the ball out, it is glowing red hot. What does it look like? It looks like the ball is red and hot. It looks like the properties of heat and light belong to the ball. But is that the case? It is not the case. It is mistaken identity. The property of heat and light is taken to be the ball, but it really belongs to the fire. The heat and light belong to the fire because it is put in the furnace. So both are mixed together, and that is how the identification takes place. So it is same with our bodies as well. Our body is brought to life because of that intrinsic nature of consciousness. The ego is brought to life because intrinsic nature of consciousness. But when I see the body, I take it to have independent existence. It exists independently. That is mistaken error. Although the identification, the Shastra says, is sahajam, it is natural. As long as I'm born in this body, I cannot avoid the identification. Then what's the point of it all? What's the point? We say we cannot avoid the identification, yet it is wrong identification. That is where somebody had asked just now, but the Shastra will say, that is where you can have identification and yet be free. That is what our Shastra discusses. You can be identified with the physical body, but internally be free from the problems of the physical body. That is when we call the person a jīvanmukta, an enlightened, self-realized, self-discovered person is one who discovers, I am not the body. I am much more than the physical body. I am much more than this mind. I am limitless, all-pervading consciousness, but I can still identify with the I thought and identify with the body. That is called self-realization. So such a person will not say, when the body has sickness or illness, this enlightened person will not say, I am sick, I am ill. No, the body is sick, the body is ill, body has pain. I am untouched by that pain. That takes, again, of course, that is enlightenment. An enlightened person will experience that. It is, there is a word that we use, neighborizing your problems. That is what is actually meant by enlightenment, neighborizing your problems. What does that mean? If your neighbor has some issues, does it bother you? No, neighbor's issues belong to the neighbor. Neighbor's problems do not bother me. Generally, of course, I may feel if the neighbor is suffering, I may feel, but it is not the same like I'm suffering, right? That is neighborizing one's problems. So neighborize your problems. You can practice it now. We can practice neighborizing the problems by seeing that you are separate from the body. The first level of inquiry is that your body is an object of your knowledge. You're separate from that body. Neighborize that problem. Practice even faking it, making it, faking it. You can do that. Sadness, neighborize your sadness. Neighborize your unhappiness. It is not you. You are untouched by that sadness. You have to, again, a tremendous effort it takes to neighborize even your vrittis, your thought forms. You can disassociate from the vritti by seeing it is only a thought, it is not you. It is only because of the veil, the avarana shakti of Maya, that you get mixed up. So headache is, I am unaffected by the headache. I say my headache. I don't say I headache. The headache is there. I am not the headache. So this is, again, how I neighborize my issues in life. I see it as separate from me more and more. It takes a tremendous effort to do that. This is what is called pratibimba, this pratibimbavada, the reflection, to know that you are not the reflection. The reflection lends existence to all these inert instruments that you use in your day-to-day life, like the physical body, the senses, the mind. They're all inert instruments that you wield. Then who are you? The sthūlaśarīrābhimāni jīvaḥ, the one who is conscious of the body, mind, and senses. Sa eva jīvaḥ prakṛtyā means you are the one, because of ignorance, because of lack of inquiry, because you don't have time to go through and sift out your nature from the nature of the body, mind, senses, then you take yourself svasmāt īśvaraṃ bhinnatvena jānāti. Bhagavan is looked as separate from you. Īśvara is looked at as separate from you, because you take yourself to be this much alone. This is all very difficult to understand, yes, because we are in this body, we have to go through the problems, we do, but what the Shastra is revealing is giving you a different vision of yourself. Whether you accept the vision or not, that is, again, your choice. You can choose to accept the vision, you can choose not to accept the vision, but the Shastra is giving you an alternative vision to yourself. And this Shastra can, again, we give the benefit of the doubt to the scriptures, because thousands of years this knowledge has been passed, handed over. It is not just overnight, somebody has created it and said. Every rishi, every realized rishi in the Shastra has discussed the same thing. The same topic you see in all the spiritual texts, may be explained in different ways, but there is one truth. People talk about it in different ways. The one truth that is spoken of by all the scriptures is that there is this consciousness, there is this reality which is more than the reality that you give yourself. that even other religions discuss. Even other religions talk about you surviving the death of your physical body. I think all religions talk about it. So if you survive the death of your physical body, it is very obvious you are not the physical body. Whether you take yourself to be equated to Bhagavan or not, that is another question. Shastra says here, the text says that you take yourself to be different only because of your identification with this body. But the truth is, you are not even a divine spark of Ishvara. Sometimes you read in text, you are a divine spark of that Lord. You are a part of that Lord. You are not even a divine spark. The text is very clear. Tattvabodha, you are that Lord. Aham brahmasmi, I am that consciousness. It is very, very clear. It is equality. It doesn't say any iota of difference. There is no difference at all. The difference, avidyopadhiḥ san ātmā jīva ityucyate. Because of the avidya upadhi, only you take yourself to be different. It is the cover that takes you, makes you different. It is the hibiscus flower. Hibiscus flower is like the body, mind, senses. When you put the body, mind, senses next to the crystal, which is ātmā, which is pure and clear, how does ātmā appear? Red. Same way, because of the individuality, you're like the hibiscus, red hibiscus flower, because of sense of self, your body, physical body, you bring it near ātmā, what happens? Then it looks like ātmā is the physical body. This is where we have to do a lot of inquiry. It takes tremendous power. It is not something overnight one can gain, but it is something one can gain. That is known. It is a fact that people have gained this knowledge. It has been passed down. As I said, if it is useless knowledge, it would have died out. It would have died out thousands of years ago. To this day, it still survives. It is a communicable knowledge as well. That is the, today I took in the Gita one verse, Ascharyavat pashyati kashchidenam, Ascharyavat vadati tataiva chanyaha, Ascharyavat chainam anyashrunoti, Shrutvapyenam na chaiva kaschita. This Gita verse today I took. It is very interesting. Bhagavan, Lord Krishna himself says, Ascharyavat kaschit pashyati enam. He says, it is amazing that people recognize this Atma. Ascharyavat, it is a wonder that some people pashyati, see this Atma. They're able to see, meaning cognitively they recognize this Atma, this divine Atma. Ascharyavat pashyati kashchidenam ascharyavat vadati tataiva chanyaha. It is a wonder that some people even speak about it, that some people communicate about it. It is a wonder, he says. Then he says, ascharyavat anya shrunoti, anyam shreya shrunoti. It is a wonder that despite listening again and again to this knowledge, to Atma, people don't recognize it. He says it's a wonder. It's a wonder how people don't recognize it. Why is it a wonder? Because we cannot recognize it so easily. You need a prepared mind. We know that the preparation of mind becomes highly crucial in this knowledge. Prepared mind only, one can recognize this Atma. And Ascharyavat chainam anyashrunoti. Ascharyavat, it's a wonder that people, again, they hear it again and again, and they cannot understand it. It is really a wonder that it is not understood at all. Everything about this self-knowledge becomes a wonder. Bhagavan himself says that it is the most obvious thing, like the 10th man, discovery of the 10th man. When that story is perfect to explain it. The 10th man is as though lost. Everyone, all of the company of disciples is looking for the 10th man everywhere. They are crying, they are weeping. The 10th man has drowned, is lost. For those who don't know the story, there is a story that is traditionally told of the 10th man, the discovery of the 10th man. This guru has sent his disciples on an errand. He had sent 10 disciples with one leader. And during their journey, they had to cross a river. And as they were crossing the river, a great storm arose and it destroyed their boat. They all swam to the other shore, and the leader of the group started counting to see if anybody was missing. He counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All he could find was 9 men. He didn't know where the 10th man had gone. He asked another disciple, to count. The other disciple also counted. And what did the disciple count? 9. Another disciple also counted. All count 9. All start crying, shouting, screaming, oh, 10th man, dashamo nasti, dashamo nashtaha. The 10th man is destroyed. 10th man has drowned. All crying and wailing because they lost one of the disciples. What happens? One person, wise person, comes along, and Swamiji, then they used to say he has a long white beard, because as a joke he used to say, the longer the white beard, the wiser person is. So a person with a long white beard came along, and he saw all this wailing and howling and everything, and he said, what is wrong? He asked the leader, what is wrong? Well, the leader said, oh, we've lost. We crossed the river. Our guru sent us for an errand, and we lost one disciple. He is drowned. He's drowned. This man wisely looked across the group, looked at all of them, and he said, no, I know 10th man, where the 10th man is. He is not gone. He is very much here with you. The 10th man is available with you. They all become shocked. Please tell us, where is this 10th man? So he says, stand in a line. I will show you the 10th man. And he counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He said, how did you do that? Where did the 10th man come from? He said, you counted, yes, but you forgot yourself. You did not include yourself. You all counted everybody else. You did not count yourself. In that discovery, that is the discovery of the self. Very simple. You count everything else and miss yourself. You don't see yourself as this limitless truth, which is ātmā. This knowledge is very simple. In fact, like the discovery of the 10th man, discovering he is the 10th man. What is it that keeps you from yourself then? It is only ignorance that divides you from yourself, actually. It is not a gain of something in place and time, in space and time. It is a gain of the already gained. That is the interesting thing about this knowledge. It is a gain of the already gained, and the gap is only ignorance. So what is opposed to ignorance? Knowledge. So although this subject is a wonder, it is Ascharyavat, Bhagavan says, it is still possible to gain it through knowledge alone, through preparation of mind. Then one can gain this knowledge. So I will leave it there for today. We will see more next week. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaः, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Satgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.